welcome to Every Day is Funny. Tuesday, May 28th. I was thinking about literature. Because I'm a man of the page. I don't know why. I like books. But I was thinking greeting cards have undergone such a transformation in our society, right under our noses. They added I'm talking about one innovation in particular. They added the chip to make of the song. I feel like there's a 50-50 chance now. You open up a greeting card, it's gonna play a fun little ditty. And it got me thinking, why don't novels have chips scattered in them playing songs? That's books have not evolved in the same way that greeting cards have. It's honestly a little embarrassing for a book. He looks at how a greeting card is coming into the 21st century and they're still sitting there stationary. I mean, you got ebooks and stuff. That's the leap we took. But greeting cards have that too. You can send those digitally. So I think novels should have songs. Because as kids we had the button, the book with the buttons. They made noises, they played tunes as you got to a certain page in the book. And at a certain point, once young adult novel level is reached, the buttons are gone. I honestly don't know why. Are buttons childish? Are sounds childish? It's basically just a soundboard, like in radio. So why are there no buttons? I think War and Peace could have buttons and sounds. I think Dune could have buttons and sounds. Or you could just put it right into the book. So when you turn to a certain page, you get a certain song or mood or sound effect. Then, it could lead to some problems. Like one guy at the publishing company gets fired, and on his way out, he seeks vengeance by putting some bad sounds in there. Because greeting cards, you can test one sound. You can open it up at the store, make sure it's the sound you need. But novel-wise, if you're rocking a lot of sounds in there, you don't have time to preview each one. So some guy might get on the subway, open up his book, and he could get in a lot of trouble for a sound that gets played. So I recognize the possible pitfalls. But shouldn't we try it? You could advertise the first novel. We're bringing back The Sun Also Rises with sounds. And people would I think it could shake up the book world, even if it's a temporary, even if it's the 3D TV of the book world. Sure, it didn't really pan out too much. It wasn't the revolution we were all hoping. But people bought it. I don't think you lost money on the endeavor, depending on your marketing budget, right? I think one place should try it. Frankenstein would be great for some buttons and sounds. The Angry Villagers, the lighting of a torch, the Frankenstein monster grunt. I just think you think sometimes in an alternate universe, this is definitely happening in an alternate universe, and the business is booming, and our universe just isn't giving it a fair shake, I think. So that's all I wanted to say. A little bit of business idea for you. Let's move on to the comics. Okay, I wanted to try a new one this time. And I found out about this comic called Gearhead Gertie. And I think it's just an old woman who loves NASCAR. And that's kind of the joke a lot of the time. But I wanted to check it out for myself, because that's an amazing premise, if that's all it is. Alright, we got Gearhead Gertie at a sleep clinic. The doctor says, "I'm not sure what a dream where NASCAR mandates a 55 mile per hour speed limit is a nightmare." Gertie says, "Well, it is to me." I love, I thought, her main trait was gonna be that she loves NASCAR. And that's just it. That's every joke, it seems. It's just like, this old woman loves NASCAR. She'll go to a sleep clinic to get things sorted out about NASCAR and what this means on a deeper level. I also just love, I have such a passion for buildings, because you have to fit everything into this one image, right? So this sleep clinic is just an empty room with 2 chairs that they wrote on the door, sleep clinic. I love simple branding like that. Like when you pass a bakery or a restaurant and it just says bakery. I love it. Well, the joke here is that Gertie loves NASCAR and stuff. But maybe this isn't a sleep clinic to be trusted, if it just says sleep clinic. Maybe that is a nightmare and he's just not good at diagnosing it. I don't know, but I love that this author is just seemingly thinking of new ways to say, this old woman loves NASCAR. I love it. Alright, I wanted to try another new one called Pluggers. And the About section says, it chronicles the hardworking people the world depends on. The 80% of humanity who keep plugging along. Seems like just they're trying to target as big a demographic as possible for their readership. Let's check it out. It's people doing hardworking jobs, but they're animals in the comic. So, okay, we have a dog man putting on a cool tie. And the headline says, "A plugger only ties his tie once?" And then the top, it says, "Thanks to Bill Radvansky, New Kensington, Pennsylvania." Okay, so this is I think I gathered that in the About section too. This is a user-submitted comic. I don't know if the user draws the dog and animals, or they just send in suggestions for topics. But Bill Radvansky in New Kensington, Pennsylvania, contributed, "A plugger only ties his tie once." Okay. It's not even a joke. It's like, this comic just says hey, in order to be zany and keep going, because no one would pay attention if I just put this caption under a human, let's make it a dog, and now suddenly people will have to engage with it, is what I think. Because why is this a comic strip? Just talking about what hardworking people do with no joke. I don't get it. Alright, Rex Morgan time. You know what I thought was cool? Because yesterday we continued this conversation. We were following Buck and his son Corey. And Corey was going to do, as a middle schooler, a stand-up set on Wednesday at the comedy club in their local area. It'd be cool for the author tomorrow to, stay to that Wednesday schedule and have Corey be performing in tomorrow's strip. Keep it consistent. I think that'd be cool. Who knows if it'll happen, but it'd be great. But anyway, Tuesday, May 28th, it looks like we are still following Corey and, is it Parker? Yeah, his friend Parker, in school. Again, Corey is double the size of Parker. Corey says, "See you in English class, Parker." And he says, "Not if I see you first." Then another random scary looking kid comes out of nowhere, says, "Ha ha, look at these 2 freaks, Shorty and Beanpole." Corey says, "Seriously?" Parker says, "Erg." Well, again, I don't care for the bullying. I want to get that out, like right up top. Don't care for that whatsoever. I will say, Parker's identity seems to be just. I bet he goes home and memorizes like an old joke book or a book of zippy catchphrases. Because yesterday he opened with like some classic joke, "What's up, the sky?" And now he's doing "Not if I see you first." And I understand that children have a hard time finding their identity in the early years. It kind of takes a while to come into yourself, but I think Parker needs to get a bit more. If he's performing also at the comedy club, he can't be relying on classic shtick like this. He's got to be writing his own stuff. Now for this strange bully who we see in a really scary looking profile shot. Something about his face is very disheartening. I do not think he's the kind of person that should be making fun of others for their appearance. And then Corey has this awkward, like, turn away just at the sight of this guy and his comments. They're 2 against 1. You can be confident and fight back. Especially also, I'm not saying bullying is good. I don't think it's good. But Corey, like, you're gonna go do a set at a comedy club. This is heckler practice. Like, if you can't embrace this, somebody calling you beanpole, there's no way you're gonna be able to fight the club atmosphere when it turns against you. This is like a perfect practice. What are you doing? I don't get it, man. I just don't get it. Let's check the comments. Okay, Bick Whittle says, I really hated school when I was a kid. I got bullied many times. And for what? I never did anything to these horrible kids. I wanted them to all just croak in painful ways. And even to this day, when I see strips about bullies, it just gets under my skin. Remember when a few episodes ago, I was like, it seems like these people are projecting their own hatred onto cartoon characters? That's Bick Whittle. I think the FBI should go take a look at Comics Kingdom and just make a note. Like, just a people to watch list. Because I think some of these people on here are, I'd be a little frightened is all I'm saying. Michael A. Fleming says, why can I not look away from this daily car crash? Listen, I don't think Rex Morgan MD is a car crash. I think we have gotten away from our central topic of the Rex Morgan family and the dog eating the brownies. I do think this is a fun diversion, checking out all these different characters. And no, it's not, anything super exciting. They're never going to make the Garfield movie equivalent of Rex Morgan, and we've now spent 2 days just this random boy talking to his friend by a locker. But isn't that fun? I don't know, I don't have much more of an argument than that, but it's nice to come back to this. Like, I don't want to keep repeating Rex Morgan every day on the show, but I can't stop. It's very addicting. I don't want to miss one. All right, let me think of what to comment. Okay. I've decided to say something from the point of view of Corey. And I'm going to say, sorry, Parker. I hired this guy to heckle me as practice for the comedy club, and I gave him a list of insulting things to call you. But I shouldn't have done that because you're my best friend and I love you. I like to have the first sentence or first part of these jokes or comments be like something that the Comics Kingdom community would get on board with. And then I imagine them keep reading on and being like, huh. Why did he end it with you're my best friend and I love you? I was gonna give this an upvote, but I don't know what this Adam guy's all about now. Send. Alright. Time to wind down. May 28th. Hope you have a lovely rest of your day. I still don't know how to end the show well, but every day is funny.